Welcome to the Creator Spotlight here on the Spotlight. I am Steven Jensen, joined as always by Jeremy Lambert, and our guest today is a returning guest. I don't even know how many times this is now. Like
We've
six?
lost count at this point. Yeah, he's honorary spotlight member at this point. It's him and SP3. They're just the honorary. Mose is honorary guest right now. SP3 is co-host, but Mose is just honorary guest.
Sick.
Yes. So we do have Jumpin' Johnny Mosley returning to the show, aka Mose, aka man of a lot of names and aliases, wears a lot of hats in the world of wrestling, a commentator, a promoter, a ring announcer, really does it all. This stuff behind the scenes. You may even know him as Justin. I mean, he's got a lot of aliases out there. Mose, how you doing, man? Thank you very much for joining the show again.
Dude, yeah, happy as always to hang out with you guys. Good, man. Been going, running a lot the last couple weeks, so feeling good, feeling tired, but got a couple more weekends coming up, and then it kind of eases up November, December.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to see you in person for the first time in a while, man. I'll be at GCW in Atlanta here on November 4th. So center stage, always a great time. Last time I was at that show, I never know where they're gonna like put me at. Like when I'm there, I just like try to get in, and then it's like whatever seats you can give me, like I'll take anything. And the last time I get there, I sit down. There was like the best seats ever. I turn to my left, and you're literally next to me. And I was like, "Oh, dude, Mose is right here. This is perfect." And you're the first person I saw when I got in the building. So I can't wait, man. I love center stage. I love GCW, and I'm sure you're excited, but even more so than that, just like your overall experience, just like with GCW, doing a lot of shows at this point with them.
Yeah, man, that was the goal. It's always right in this business. It's always like the next goal. That was the goal I gave up on. Probably, I don't know, like a year and a half or something. I just felt like I'm not gonna, get over that hump. Right? There's a lot of commentators. There's a lot of people that are in group chats that I'm not in, and the politics of it or something that I want my work and my talent, if you want to call it that. I want that to be enough, right? So like I'm not the best. I wear a lot of hats, but I'm not the best politicker. I'm just not. I'm never gonna be. So it is when I finally, and I always gotta shout out Billy Starks, Kick-Ass Rebecca, Mouse, the BSB. They really helped make that happen in a big way. But thankfully, I'm pretty good at it. Dave Prazak liked me. Brett Lauderdale liked what I did. And yeah, I think I'm at, I don't know, 7 or 8 states. And then as you mentioned, bro, it's like center stage is always my favorite show to be a part of. Like the history of that building, like we get to see people like my Atlanta peeps and Georgia peeps that I may not get to see at action. I'm definitely going to see them at GCW. So it's always special to be in that building. So yeah, calling some action and knowing I'll get to see you maybe a little inebriated and having a good time. It's always nice.
Dude, it's such a fun atmosphere. Like I'm trying not to like pull the curtain back too much on anything, but like I think it's funny that like just for instance, I told this story before, but just for instance, this is how cool of an environment just like a GCW show is for anyone who hasn't gone, especially at center stage. So there's a parking garage that's like attached to the building. And after the show, like the wrestlers are just like hanging out there, doing whatever. And you'll see them directing traffic. Like Nick Gage will be like helping people like get out of the parking garage. Like they'll be like, all the cars lining up and they'll be like high-fiving fans on the way out and stuff. And it's like, you can like say what's up to your favorite wrestlers on the way out of the parking lot. Like it's just like a cool experience. And yeah, it's I've got some really good memories there, and some bad ones actually, to be honest, but like mostly really good ones. So
yeah, same.
I want to know more about the bad memories now.
Same.
No,
we'll have to wait for the book.
Yeah, wait for the book.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's a really fun time, and yeah, those are special shows, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Is Haley going to be there again? It was good seeing her. I got to see her for the first time in forever last time. Also,
I know, man. Yeah, the infamous. You never know with Haley. Haley, if I'm at a show, she's probably there. Now, the bad news about center stage, and I'm happy you got to see her, my man, because the hotel we stay in, the first time GCW booked me for there, they put us up in this nice, it's like right next door. I don't know the name of the hotel, but it's like right there next to center stage. It's like super nice, super classy. You got a valet and all that, right? So quick story, the first time we stayed there, it was that weekend where they did Carolina, right? They did Carolina, I think on Friday, drove to Atlanta, did Atlanta center stage Saturday. So the Carolina show, the main event, I'm pretty sure it was Colby Carino and Cole Radrick in like a death match. I'm pretty sure that was the main. I could be wrong, but it was definitely ratty, a death match. So we're in this nice, a nice hotel. It's me, Haley, Brett Ison, Max Recon. Shout out Max Recon, and Cole Radrick. I think maybe Sean Campbell. Like we had a crew that time, but it was like, big size hotel room. It was really nice. But again, shout out Cole Radrick. He didn't want to bleed on the bed. So you had the main event man, Cole Radrick, taking one for the team. He didn't want to. He said, we're all like, just Cole, just lay down, man. You're like, you just had a hell of a match. You've been in the car for just lay down. And I'll never forget, Cole's wrapped himself in a hoodie and he's laying on the floor and he's like, guys, that bed's too nice. I don't want to get blood on it. So Cole Radrick slept on the floor and me and Haley got the bed that we were going to give Cole. But that hotel, like, again, is right there. So Haley's usually like, I'm going to go chill. I'll get food, like I'm not going to be at the venue, but she had a blast seeing you. Steph DeLander has been announced for that show. And that's the goal for me now. Like I'm with SDL. So you should see her, Jensen. We should be able to get her there if SDL's there.
She's out injured right now.
I know they announced her and Jimmy, I think. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but with Jimmy Lloyd and SDL, who knows?
hopefully she'll be back. Yeah, she got injured on the Australian tour. Matt Cardona.
Yep. That was wild, right?
Yeah,
that was
wild. Matt Cardona out there. Yes. You posted a few things about this on your socials. We were talking a little bit off air about it, but the NJPW event that had Brizongo against Matt Cross and Penta El Zaramedo. What a duo that is, by the way. Matt Cross and Penta against Brizongo. What was this show like? What was that main event like?
NJPW, for those that don't know, it's basically a super indie. Like, it's weird saying that for Knoxville, Tennessee. Obviously the history in Knoxville. There's so much, right, for wrestling, but it's this awesome promotion that when I first graduated college back in 2017, I went as a fan. I went as a fan to see, it was Cody Rhodes versus Matt Cross. Cody Rhodes, Steven Jensen, there I said his name. I met Cody Rhodes that day. That was when he was doing like the Bullet Club stuff in New Japan. I know Jensen will probably remember. Anyone else? They did that really funny press conference kind of early in that run for New Japan, and it was just hilarious. And I talked to Cody about it was just cool, right? Just chit chatting with him. And over the years, it just kind of worked, man. That was a goal, right? To work in GW because these shows, and they had COVID hit, and they had their announce team kind of take a break and all that, which respect. So I looked into it in a way, just they needed a commentator and they thought of me. So now they have these shows, right, where you're going to get local guys, right? You're getting like Caden Sade and, you'll see Mike Cobb and Kenji Bria and these guys that, you'll see like in, Tennessee, Georgia, Carolina shows. But then you're also getting, like you said, you're getting Matt Cross, you're getting Penta, you're getting like, the first, our last show before this one, the one we're talking about, which was last weekend, Breeze's debut, he wins the title. It was Breeze versus Matt Cross. And so there's all these crazy matchups, right? And that was a weird day because it ended up being Son of Havoc for the majority of that match. It was Son of Havoc and Penta versus Dirty Breeze. I don't know. We were trying not to get sued, I think. So we called him Dirty Breeze. It was weird, man. It's always the wildest because, again, like Matt Cross is such a nice guy. It's weird that Matt Cross remembers me. And like, you've got Facade and Danny Moe and just a great locker room. The Natterday Saint, shout out Brad. Bradley Prescott IV, Adam Slade, who might be the tag champs of NJPW, depending on who you talk to. Don't Google it. So it is. It's always a fun, man. It's such a fun place. And then they just opened they just opened a bar one door down from the locker room. So Brad's like, hey man, let's go to this bar, and it's like a pour your own, one of those. So me and Bradley Prescott are just having some beers after the show, and like it is, man. It's just a really cool vibe. We don't run a lot. NGW, they never run during the cold seasons. They don't want or the cold months, I should say. They don't want to risk fans and the talent with bad weather. So they don't run a ton of shows a year, around 4 or 5 at most. But yeah, anyone the next time they announce, I don't know yet. It's the cold months, as I said. So I would assume our next one may not be until maybe like March, April. It'll be a minute. But yeah, if you can get to Knoxville for NGW, man, do it, because you just never know. We've had Eric Bischoff there in the last year. We've had I'm trying to think of just all the names we've seen. I mean, in recent years, they've had Ultimo Dragon.
I was about
there.
to say Ultimo Dragon was the one I was thinking. Yep. I remember Ultimo Dragon ran against a SUP show one time, because I remember having to make the decision of going to NGW or going to SUP one time. It was specifically because Ultimo Dragon was on that show. I went to SUP because I was too loyal, but I remember some of like the SUP regulars not being there and me seeing them at the next SUP show, and they were like, man, I had to go to the Ultimo Dragon show.
Yeah, they had Ultimo, they've had Tajiri. I mean, they do. So yeah. You never know what you're going to get. Shout out NG-Dub. They take care of me. Like, I'm just a commentator, right? And they go out of their way for me. And man, I've worked for places for years, right, that still don't really, make me, you're not really a part of the team per se. But yeah, NGW, just I can't say enough about that crew. And yeah, that we go. It's on High Spots. Like anyone I know. High Spots, they don't, may not have a ton of up-to-date talent, of up-to-date shows. If you're on High Spots right now, you're probably doing shoot interviews and this and that, which they have a lot of great content. But go back, High Spots is worth whatever they're $9.99, whatever it is, a month or two, to go back and just watch these NGW shows, man, because they're nuts.
NGW came in. That's what Breeze returned to wrestling at. I was very surprised. I was like, wait, Breeze is back, and then it happened to be everyone sees the thumbs up bubble that just popped up on my screen. Oh, I can do. Look at this gimmick. No, watch. Hold on.
What is this?
Yeah, if you have like a Mac, see, I can do fireworks.
What is happening right now?
I can do balloons. Hold on, see if the balloons work. You guys gotta watch In the Weeds. Jensen, this is an In the Weeds bit right here.
Yeah, Jensen, what are you doing?
I'm working a shoot job. That's what I'm busy doing.
This is
thumbs down
awesome.
Doesn't. Yeah, the thumbs down doesn't always work. But the heart will work sometimes. Let's see.
Balloons are fantastic.
Yes, yes. So we did. There goes the heart right there.
That's cool.
Wizard.
We discovered this, and this has become a whole thing on In the Weeds. So sometimes when I do the thumbs up, the little bubble will pop up, and it'll. There you go, everyone.
I forgot we can go down a whole rabbit hole, augmented reality, and my thoughts on that in the future, and integrating that with everyday world. I mean, that's just part of it with seamlessly. I don't even want to go down that right now, but yeah. Anyway, we need to.
I want to do custom ones.
Same.
I want to do custom ones. Like if I hold up crotch the one, I need a Roman Reigns to pop up. Oh yeah, crotch shop would be good. Yeah, I want to do custom ones, but it won't let me.
Cody's fireworks go off behind me.
Yeah, fireworks go off.
Whoa! No, not doing that at all.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
He's a nice guy. I like him.
You do this and it goes black and white, so you do an NWO promo, one of those old.
That's good. I do like that.
Yeah, they're gonna take that one from you, Jensen.
Yeah. For sure. Hey, you mentioned BP4. How many natties do you think he can legitimately drink in I don't know, within the time he's awake to the time he goes to sleep?
Brother,
how many total do you think he drinks?
I mean, whatever number I give you, I feel like I'm gonna undercut him. Is the thing. Right now, Bradley Prescott IV is an animal who just wants to drink and he wants to gamble a lot of high amounts of money. I mean, me and this guy get talking about our part. I don't talk about my gambling with anybody, but Bradley Prescott IV is in those back rooms in Vegas, like just throwing money around, bro. So like I'm gonna
I
say
respect that.
if we're talking Natty Lights, he's probably gonna put down a whole case. I mean, for sure, a whole case by himself, probably more. Like he doesn't play around. I mean, I said, the pour your own beer thing. It did not take long for Brad to hit the limit, whatever the limit was of like, okay, you've had enough for a minute. Brad was there and he was like, I'm fine. This is outrageous. BP 24.
I love that. I very much respect that entire
I love him.
answer.
I love him so much.
That's pretty fun. That's pretty funny.
I can't. All right, what are you drinking, Mose? You guys with your beers. I can't do it. I can't.
I know, man. I was in a fraternity in college. So my early 20s, it was like, I mean, it was Steel Reserve. It was, it was Natty. It was King Cobra. It was, we're just drinking. Now I'm 33, bro. Like I am, like, what did I drink? We were in Michigan. We went up for the Notre Dame USC game. I've been drinking cider, bro. I've been drinking nice apple ciders. I got a caramel apple cider. I can drink some whiskey. I mean, I can drink whatever. Again, Still Reserve. You know what I mean? Like I drink that. That was my training wheel drink. I could drink whatever. I'm just not a big drinker anymore. I feel like I get, like, if I'm at a show, right? If we're like, at center stage, I'm gonna have a few drinks, right? But if we're at home, man, if I have a couple, I'm just tired and I want to go to bed and like, but yeah, in my fridge right now, I'd say we've got some ciders. I brought some ciders back from Michigan. And I've got, Haley's a big gin drinker. When she does want to drink, we got some gin, but we're just not very drinkers unless we're, at the bar or kind of on the road celebrating.
We're all washed.
Or if we're with Brad, if I'm with Brad, I have to drink. But if I'm like right now, if I'm drinking a little bit, talking to you guys, I'm ready for a shower, and we're just gonna call this a day.
Water, everybody drink water and stay hydrated.
Water right here also.
There you go.
I like Prime a little bit. I don't talk about it a lot because I know like the pulp, but I like Prime. I drink it. I like the flavors. I'm here for it.
Okay.
You're gonna get Jensen. Go ahead, Jensen.
I'm sorry, I do.
Okay. So I have not tried it yet, but I've heard it's fantastic. I even saw Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, who I very much respect. I saw him do kind of somewhat of a blind taste test on the spot for it, and he gave it really high ratings, which brings me to my next point. Okay, so Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis. All right. So Logan got the W. How did you feel about that whole thing? Because by the time people see this interview, me and Jeremy will have talked about it as one of our topics for the show. So people will hear more of my thoughts about it. But how did you feel about the fight itself, the build up, the trolling, really whatever you want to say about it? Then kind of the fight after the fight and kind of just the whole experience.
I was hoping Mike Perry would fight somebody. That was what I was hoping. I was hoping Mike Perry, if Mike Perry just fought himself even, I would have enjoyed that more. I don't know, man. It's kind of like, it's what I expected, I guess. Like, when you have these kind of fights, and as you both know, especially Jensen, like, I've grew up a big boxing and MMA fan. Like I've definitely seen, I don't know what you would call it, how things have changed. So I know the trolling and all that's a part of the game, but this one just didn't do, and I get behind some trolling. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm a hater. I love being petty at times. It's fantastic. I just felt like that was the game, right? The game wasn't about the fight. Like, it was the build up, and now that we're here, it felt like, oh, okay, well, now what? Because it was this thing, you know what I mean? It was just like, it reminded me. So local wrestling, there's a local fed that I used to work for. I still go and hang out, but like they're kind of doing the same thing right now, and it's like it's a shoot. Like I'm not even lying to you. These guys are on Facebook saying just awful, terrible things about, and they mean it. Like,
which
it's company? Really weird. It's Resolute.
I remember.
You almost came down and did some calm with me there.
Yeah.
So, Resolute Wrestling, a local fed, where I got my foot in the door. I still, whenever I'm in town on Fridays, I like to go, and they got their big show, their big Halloween show next Friday, Crossville, Tennessee. bro, they're hating. Like there is just so much hate between these two guys, and it's all real. Like I'll tell you, like there is a 8.5 minute shoot promo, however you want to call it. 8.5 minutes, guys. 8.5, almost 9 minutes. This guy is just hating. Like on the dude's mother, on his girlfriend, on him, like and I'm just
on
saying,
Facebook.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll send
they
you
put
the
on
link,
Facebook.
bro.
Like that's so personal.
Dude.
They're like, I'll make sure their family sees it. All
Yeah,
their friends.
they're tagging each other. So, like, from the fans' perspective, like this is it's a great build. But like again, the behind the scenes, like I can tell you for a fact, like some messages have been sent, and like people aren't happy. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm on the road all next weekend, but I will be there on Friday just to see. Because they are like, it's one thing to say stuff about you and your girlfriend. It's another thing to say it and literally tag your government name on Facebook, bro.
That's awesome.
In your gimmick, right? It's I forgot to mention that. In his gimmick, like mask, full gimmick, 8.5, 9 minute shoot, like just unloading. Dude, it's wild.
That's incredible.
It reminded me of that fight.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's
like
great.
we've emptied kind of that match isn't for another week. Like, what are we gonna do now? Like, we're ready for the match now. We got to wait 10 days, 9 days, whatever it is. Like, brother, we don't. What are we doing when it comes? I better see. Like, I want to see a fist fight. Like, we got to see just everything hard way in that match now, because like. I can tell you, one of these guys, I think every day he's going to post a promo, and the locals are rambunctious right now.
Oh, I love knowing that. So like the locals are like, they're all in. So this is going to be like a packed house. What's a packed house like as far as like amount of fans you think are going to be witnessing this live?
It's a cool venue. Like anyone in wrestling knows, half the battle's a venue, and Resolute Caleb got very lucky. It's a little venue, but yeah, man. I mean, he can fit like we're talking like standing room only, bro. He could fit like 150 people in there, probably. Like,
I love that.
Give or take, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
bro.
Dude,
yeah,
local build, like get like 100 or so people in there that are all invested in it. Everyone has to be standing up on the ring. I love that. That's very Subgraps ish. Like that's very much my I'll take that over like some giant arena like all day. So
it's gonna be, again, we got to get there. Like we got another week to keep everybody like invested in it. But they are, man. Like I'm not lying. I can't remember the last time, bro. We're getting like these guys are getting like 50, 60 comments. You know what I mean, on their like 8-minute video, and it's.
You got to send me this.
What can I say?
We need to link this to like the video or so. Can we do that, Jeremy? Can we put?
I'm looking this up now.
Depending, I guess, on the content of it. I'm very interested now because we can kind of help build this match maybe. Dude,
I'm gonna say I'll send it to. I think me and Jensen, are we Facebook friends?
I think so. I never use Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not on Facebook at all. So I went to their videos.
Okay.
It's not under videos. I'm looking under posts.
Me and Jensen. I'm going to send it to Jensen right now.
Okay.
Because I dropped it in the KOBK chat last night. I just had to see what the boys thought about it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're right, though. And it's also, too, right? Small town. What do I always say? Wrestling's more real the smaller the town. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a small southern town, baby. This is like, this is real as it gets right now.
I love that.
They're just talking about people. Everyone has slept with everybody, and
yes,
this is good. Dude, this sounds right up your alley, Jeremy. Like your reality TV.
So look,
crossing over.
Yes, reality TV world. I'm all for it. The Dillon Danis, and people have at this point heard me say this. The Danis stuff is like. At first, when he's doing this stuff, it's like kind of funny, like, oh, okay, he's building the fight. But then, like, the more you do it, it becomes a little like turn off for me. It's like, really, you don't have any better material. Hey, being a big wife guy, like hearing somebody attack a fiance or significant other like that, it's like, oh, that's a little much kind of thing. there, especially when you do it so much. And then you get to the damn fight and you land 9 punches. Like if you're going to talk all of that, you gotta throw something here. So that's really
I totally agree. Totally could not agree more.
I'm watching this video right now, by the
way.
I
sent it to him, bro.
I'll finish it after the
this was like you're gonna need time. You're gonna need time because, like Jeremy said, it literally is like you're sleeping with everybody's wife, and it's messy.
Bro, a lot of comments. People look invested.
A lot of comments. We gotta think too, man. It's small town, so like a lot of these people know these dudes in real life too. So it's that weird blend of like it's just a weird energy when we're talking like you mentioned the sup stuff, right? Like it is like that, but the thing about the sup crowd is that was a very smartened up crowd. And I mean, not everybody, right? We still had that. The thing that made sup so great and still does when they can run is that mix of smart wrestling fans with those people that kind of just show up and they're like, oh, this is not a mimosa day. Okay. Yeah. And it's that weird, cool mix, right? This is that where it's like Hatfields and McCoys almost like, that's my cousin. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing tied up in everything else with wrestling. There's nothing like it. Like, I don't know if it's good or bad, but there's nothing like it.
So does like the whole town, for instance, like know who Cousin Condry is? Like under the mask?
Oh yeah.
Like they all
I mean, so Condry's definitely kind of up near more Nashville area, but like it's him and Draven Lee, Cousin Condry, they're 2 workers. And
yeah,
it's Draven is a very well-known local, like he's done a local circuit for years. I met him at Resolute years ago. They both have worked, that's Draven. Yeah. They've both worked like Nashville area, Tullahoma, so they're both like people know them in real life and wrestling life. And it's that thing as a fan, right, where we kind of all feel like we know somebody even when we don't. So it's really weird when you're like, I see him at the sit-go and I go see him wrestle. So I think like it's just a weird dynamic with small town wrestling that like, again, it is nothing like I can't even tell you guys the DMs the phone calls I've gotten today about this match. And they're like, people are like, is this like how much of that do you know these guys? Is this? And I'm like, bro, every word they're saying they mean. Like I can confirm that, bro. This ain't that's Condry, Cousin Condry. There, bro, it's good. Got the people talking. Yeah, this is good. This is like Caleb,
this is gonna be the other spotlight, like in a couple weeks, like on our show. Like this
I look forward to come back the next time and us just dissect this match, and I can tell you what, because I'm gonna be there. I will for sure be there early. Like I can't wait to see how this unfolds. I have so many questions, you know what I mean? And I know like, I've seen it unfold and I have questions.
This is straight out of I'm sure you guys have seen the South Park wrestling episode, where
absolutely.
It's just the feeder stuff of like you got my girlfriend pregnant, and then they just draw it in off of the promos, and they got the animated Vince McMahon and everything there.
It's exactly right.
I love how in that episode, like Edge, like in John Cena, they hit the ropes and they're like, "Whoa!" They come back. Like they try to make it look so funny, but like, oh man, that was such a great episode. I remember it called WTF. That's
WTF, classic.
So good.
This is how you're gonna draw in the locals. You gotta get the local storyline going there.
And they got it going. That's the weekend. I'll be there Friday hanging out, and then Saturday 28th we're having our big Halloween show at TWE, and then very excited. I know we got a little bit of time left, but very excited. October 29th, H2O debut for me, bro. The first time I'm getting a call a deathmatch tournament. First time I've worked at H2O before, but that was for GCW Settlement Series, and I called. I hate that I can't remember. It's been a couple years, but they have kind of like a next up, like an action next up. H2O, they have their next crew, like our stars kind of being made kind of show. And I got to call a couple of matches there. Shout out Matt Tremont. So yeah, for me, like that weekend's very big. And then as Jensen said, leading in the next Saturday is that GCW show. So within a week, I'm gonna get to work up in Jersey for Matt, and then get to kick it with you and GCW at Center Stage. So that for me, like, 2023, like bookings I had way more bookings last year. But I've made more money this year thanks to wrestling. I think I'm having more fun this year because I've let go of a lot of the then why not me, right? Like we all feel that, I think, like, but it's been a lot of that for me the last year or two of just trying to grind and do the right thing. And you see these, like, why not me? Why have I not kind of gotten that kind of shot? So 2023 has been really, 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 really cool to kind of knock these things off and do well in those positions. Because, man, like as you guys know, you could do a good job and people are going to hate on you. So you do a bad job, they're really going to hate on you. So yeah, just very thankful for the year. Thankful for you guys and just kind of everyone that's ever said my name or anything. Like I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, for real.
Oh, for sure, man. Like, I'm glad to hear that you're gonna be doing stuff with H2O. Because I remember that tournament you're talking about, like the kind of like the futures that like they're talking about. I don't remember if I don't remember if Austin Luke won it last time, but I remember that tournament. I know Austin Luke is like one of their main guys now.
Such a good dude, Austin Luke.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like what they're doing in H2O a lot.
Oh, bro, so much talent, right? I mean, like guys that are so young right now and so good. And I think it's something we were seeing at TWE. I want to shout them out right now. It's been a great year for TWE, but H2O is that same way, right? Of hungry young talent, but guys like Austin Luke, guys like Dylan McKay, and of course Marcus Mathers, who you've heard so much about the last couple of years. These young talents that are here now, but like in another couple of years, they're really going to be talked about.
Well, people might not even know, like Matt Tremont's the one behind that company. So like right there is like a huge, you know what I mean? Yes. Like right there alone is like a stamp of approval, like that you're like Tremont trained. And like, because Marcus Mathers is a guy who like, I mean, I love Wasted Youth. I love everyone he just mentioned. There's so much young talent there. But like Mathers especially felt like he just like hit the scene and like really like everyone kind of knew about him. It felt like almost immediately. And really started popping up everywhere. And yeah, him and McKay are like still kind of. I wish we got more of them in GCW. Like they pop up occasionally, but like if they were just seen, that's you can say that about so many teams, obviously. But they're a team that really like if they were just seen by more eyes, I just feel like they're like can't miss everywhere.
And you're saying Marcus, I know he's got a big match with Price coming up, Alec Price. So yeah, like you said, man, you've really seen Marcus the last couple years. Really, and you feel it now, like really kind of hit that stride. And I think Austin's that same way, that maybe by the summer, or you know what I mean, like the next few months, I think more and more promotions. I mean, I know for Kobk, we had venue issues for my plan, right? We're going to bring down an H2O car. That's been our goal. And like from the jump, honestly, we want to bring down Matt and these guys. So excuse me, I can say for us, like for 2024, KOBK shows, we're going to try to get these guys down. So hopefully, you'll be have the opportunity to see a lot of these guys down south a little more.
Yeah, I like the idea of that.
I want to ask you about your friendship with Darren McCarty, because you tweeted that you were like best friends with Darren McCarty. And so ever since he became involved in wrestling, I wanted to talk to him. I got a chance to talk to him. He was on our show before Impact, one of the Impact shows earlier this year. And I'm a big hockey fan, big Avalanche fan. They had a huge rivalry with the Red Wings back in the day. They did. And so I was like, man, talking to McCarty would be like cool, but like weird as an Avs fan. But I was all in. I wore my Avs jersey during the interview and everything. Like he fully respected it too. And I had like a really nice exchange with him after the interview. And like I've interviewed a lot of people on this show and on other shows. Like nothing has struck me more than like that interview with McCarty of like, if I could tell like 12-year-old me who grew up to be this person, like, you got to interview Darren McCarty and like you're kind of like peers with him and it kind of cool with him after hating him my entire childhood with this Avs and Red Wings rivalry, hating him. And like he was totally cool, totally respectful and stuff. And so I just want to put over Darren McCarty as like the nicest dude. And I would not expect it, being the hater that I was growing up. But your kind of friendship with Darren McCarty, how'd you kind of get involved and link up with him?
It was because of Sean. It was because SPO. Yeah. Sean, we lost. I think the last time maybe I talked to you guys, it'd been time for his funeral. So it was SPO, man. I had told him because I know what you're saying, Jeremy. Like I grew up obviously in Tennessee. We didn't have the Preds till I was, a little bit older, 9 or 10, something like that, 11 maybe. So for years I just watched so I remember those series, right? I was watching just as a fan of hockey. Like I didn't really like the Avalanche or the Red Wings, but I vividly remember, those just grimy, just like we're talking about fights, bro. Those were like, we wish we could get some of those fights, right? Like in the boxing ring or in the cage. Like, so yeah, I know that feeling you're talking about. Like I told Sean, and for months, we'd talk, and SPO was just like, I got to get you and Darren together, man. You guys are going to love each other. Then it was the weekend before Sean passed. We were just chilling behind TWE, and Darren McCarty's walking around, right? And like you said, I'm just like, that guy's a killer. Like I've seen him like the Happy Gilmore kind of vibe of like he took his skate off and tried to stab a guy kind of vibes. But like you said, man, Sean was like, Darren, you meet my boy, and right away, just super nice. Such a just. And it's one thing, right? And we've all met people that we're fans of, or like, you just a set celebrity. And Darren, I think, is the only person I've met that he made me feel like he genuinely cared and wanted to hear me just say, like, you helped me kind of become a hockey. Like, that violence and just those rivalries kind of got me into hockey. And then the Preds really picked that up when I had a local team. And he just made me feel very, very assured about it, and just was a cool moment. And it is, man, like, he was the first person, I think at Sean's funeral, the first three people I saw were Cole Radrick, Darren McCarty, and Hoodfoot. And all three just gave me a tight hug. And we just kind of talked about Sean. So, yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because I miss him. We just celebrated his birthday. We did a cool SPO show up in New Albany. Had his daughter there and his mom. It was a really great time. So yeah. I want to shout out Sean again, because man, he would laugh thinking about how much we just sit around and talk about him now. He's like, you just hear him kind of giggling. But that's something I'll always remember about him, is like, just so given right away, like, yeah, come meet Darren McCarty. And then Darren has latched on to that. And when I was up in Detroit for Flophouse, Darren was just so kind and welcoming. Same way with ICW. ICW was a good get for me this year. It was last minute, but I got to ring announce and do a little bit of commentary for ICW in Detroit. And Darren signed my jersey that day, and he signed it KOBK affiliated. And that's that, like you're saying, you know what I mean? Like the 8-year-old me is just like, what?
Yeah,
It was insane, because I'm taking a risk wearing this Avs jersey to most famous. But it's like, and he doesn't know me. He has no idea who I am, and he could come on here. I just reached out to him. He did like follow me on Twitter, but like I just reached out to him. I was like, hey, do you want to come on a show to talk about Impact and everything? But he has like no idea who I actually am, and he could come on there and be like, you fucking like asshole wearing this jersey, like this is disrespectful type of thing. He's like, nah, I respect that, man. You got to support your team. Like that's what it's all about. And like, and we just had this nice exchange afterwards, and just see again to 8-year-old me who couldn't stand this man. It's like, this dude's awesome. And now we're kind of peers. Like, yeah, it's crazy how kind of the world will bring you together and everything. He's very open about like his life struggles and everything too.
Yes.
Like, it's cool to see him doing so well. And if you are a hockey fan, go watch. There's a 30. I don't know if it's 30 for 30. There's a documentary on ESPN about that rivalry, and you can see like how really intense. Like you want to talk about like sports rivalries. I know that there are a lot of big ones nowadays. Hockey doesn't have like huge ones anymore. The Canadian ones are pretty big, but like blood rivalries, it didn't get any bigger than Avs and Red Wings back in the day. And those guys trying to like you said, stab each other with skates and everything.
Yeah, dude. He's a gamer though. Like, I totally make sense that Darren would respect the Avs jerseys, because he is, man. He is like, a true gamer, someone that just loves the sport of competition, like just wants to compete. You see it now with him in wrestling, right? He's managing Thomas Oliver Vendetta a lot. TOV, want to shout out Tommy Vendetta, great guy. And it's one of those cool Darren McCarty stories, right? So all of us in the KOBK crew, we're big, especially Brett Eisen, man. Me and Eisen are huge hockey fans, and we that documentary you talked about, ESPN, we stayed up. Me and Eisen stayed up when it dropped and just watched it. We were on the road one night. So like, yeah, man, being able to talk to him about that, and then having that moment again of he's like I'm KOBK, like I'm affiliated with you guys, and then it's that surrealness that you get, and then you see him out there managing and just taking bundles of light tubes to the head. He doesn't put the hands up, he just eats it. And the first thing he says to me, so I saw him a day or two after he got, he gets cut open, just eats it, right? Just like a G. And what does he tell me? It's the coolest Heater story I think I to tell Heater. When it happened, he came up to me, Darren McCarty walks dead right up to me, and he just goes, did you see the bundle shot? I go, yeah, man, like I saw. And he goes, you know what I thought when I'm laying on the ground there bleeding? I said, I don't know, Darren McCarty, what did you think, bud? And he said, always the hard way. Like he thought of hard way Heater. Yeah, he goes, I think of Heater, and I just think always the hard way. And I'm like, what? No. But like, to your point though, again, he wanted me to tell Heater. He's like, I said, I'm texting him right now. Like I want him to know, but that's Darren, man. And he is, if Darren McCarty, man, he's on a show around, like, if you're a fan or not, it just like, please go say something to him. You're not going to find probably a more just polite and just nice, man, in a time when no one's nice anymore. That's just D-Mac's just the nicest.
What ICW show were you at? Because he came in and did stuff with the Kirks, but I can't remember like what all. Do you remember like what?
The one I did?
Yeah.
That would have been, it would have been NHB. Oh man, hold on, I can tell you. It's not been that long ago. Yeah. It would have been, hold on, August maybe. Yeah, so it was August 5th. I don't know the number, but it was August 5th. It was ICW NHB. It was their Detroit show. We had Tremont was on it. They did Justin Kyle on there. I think Justin Kyle and Isaiah Broner was a match we had on that. It was a real sneaky card that I think it kind of got lost maybe in SummerSlam weekend. Because there's some really good violent, just good chains matches, and you get to see, Darren and Tommy and those guys in Detroit, and Malcolm and MM3. Big shout out, big MM3 guy. I just, like I said, ICW was a big get for me. I really wanted that to add. And MM3 did it. Like MM3 came up to me the night before and was like, at Flophouse, like, bro, you here tomorrow? Yeah, I'm here. Well, because I want to say ICW may have used. I know MM3 and his dad. They have a promotion in Detroit, and I think they maybe have used the venue that they kind of used or something like one of those things. So MM3 kind of put me in. So I just can't say enough about Malcolm. That Detroit crew, man, those are great talents and great human beings. I can't say enough about just that Detroit. That everybody in that Detroit van that you usually get with Darren and Tommy and Malcolm and. Just great humans.
Yeah, it's a great company. I mean, like there's a lot of talent you just mentioned there that I would want thoughts on. Like, I mean, so you mentioned like Tommy Vendetta, for instance. He's a guy who I feel like does not get enough shine still. Like if you know about him, like if you know he's gonna have like the best death match on the show of like probably full death matches, and like his will still stand out. Like the dude will do stuff into like. He's like innovative with like panes of glass. He'll figure out ways of like doing cool stuff that you haven't seen before, which I guess is the name of the game for deathmatch wrestling at this point in a lot of senses, is like trying to figure out something that people haven't gotten like numb to that like is going to get that reaction. I feel like he's really good at that, especially I know that he's like kind of pivoted like his character a bit lately, but
a little bit. Yeah.
But like watching it, I know he, for the longest time, at least when I discovered him, he was always wrestling in like would look like long johns, just like white long johns. And I would
Yep.
always be like, this is such an obvious choice because they're going to be red by the end of his match every time. Like that's like you see the change in color throughout the match. But yeah, that's a good shout out. That's a guy that I'd be interested to talk to him and pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah, dude. Thomas, great guy, great fun guy to talk to. Since we're talking about ICW, please go back and watch on IWTV. MM3 Malcolm Monroe and Sean Campbell, one of my boys, they have this weird chemistry, man. When those two are in a match together, I mean, it's just fireworks. And they put a crazy one on in the pit a couple months ago for ICW. So yeah. Malcolm, Thomas Oliver, Vendetta, Darren McCarty, just that whole crew, man. I thank them and yeah, I would love to hear you guys or somebody get Thomas Oliver Vendetta down here. I'd love to hear you guys chop it up with him.
Yeah, I'd be interested in him. And then also a guy that I've talked to just like a little bit, but never interviewed. And you mentioned him is Justin Kyle. Is he out right now with injury?
So Justin Kyle he's like a real person in real life that has like real life stuff. So a lot of his schedule deals with that. I want to say he maybe had a career change kind of recently. But I know he's doing, he just did maybe a Merge Midwest show.
Okay.
Obviously it just very sparse. I'm not sure if it's a time or a want or a mix, but, Justin, not in the ring a lot, but when he's there, he's still got that attitude. He's still got that presence, right? And like I said, that show, the ICW show, from SummerSlam weekend, it was him and Broner, man. And they went at it. They really did.
Dude. And I love the reason I asked because I haven't been seeing Justin Kyle often as like nearly as often as I had been, so I was like kind of wondering where he'd been at. But I love.
I can tell you. I was gonna say I can tell you he did get hurt up until that Detroit show. It was something to do. I want to say his shoulder, or it was a bad injury kind of thing. That's when he was definitely out for like, gosh, I want to say maybe 8 months, almost a year kind of vibe. It was a bad injury. So he may be still dealing with that a little bit, but I know he's back a little bit, but you're right. I mean, he was gone there for a minute. And that definitely was a very serious, I want to say he told me that it was like, maybe like everything like ligament wise kind of got ripped off and then he had to like build it back kind of vibe. It was gnarly.
Yeah, dude. And for people that don't know Justin Kyle, like if you're a fan of mixed martial arts and of pro wrestling, like he's a perfect guy to become a fan of. Cause like he comes out to Sandstorm. He does like the Vanderlei Silva thing. Like his pads are like his knee pads and kick pads are like, I think they're the Struggles logo, but it's like the Pancrase logo symbol that they have. Like he basically has like the Pancrase logos on him, but like it's like he's had wars with guys like Cruel and Brett Eisen. I mean, like those guys will all go there and kill each other, which is I'm a big Justin Kyle fan. And also, speaking of Brett Eisen, how is Brett doing?
Brett Eisen, he's doing great. Anyone that follows him on social media, he's got a puppy or. He's getting Bishop is his dog's name. Always gonna be a puppy to me. Doing a lot better, man. I appreciate you asking. He's TWE bookings, right? So please, everyone listening, go keep up with TWE on IWTV. Obviously, when we get going again for KOBK, Brett's gonna be there. He's wrestling. It's him versus Tank coming up next month in November for ICW in Chattanooga. So yeah, you'll be seeing a little bit of Brett. He's kind of at that point where he just wants to be at places that he really just gets to kind of have fun at. This with Bishop, that's the KOBK Prince. He can't be on the road when you got a pup and the amount of joy he gets out of just sitting and watching like TMNT with his puppy, like. I've not seen Brett this happy in years. So doing well and really, really excited. I'm going to say it again. That match with Tank going to be very special next month for sure.
Mose, appreciate you joining us tonight. Let everybody know what you got coming up and where they can follow, where they can support you at.
Please follow me at Mose KOBK. Please watch this Friday, October 20th, it'll be on IWTV. We're live streaming. Live stream That'll be October 20th. And then please, 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 anyone go watch whatever you can. October 28th, TWE Nightmare on Dayton Boulevard. October 29th, Matt Tremont's Deathmatch Tournament, H2O. And November 4th, GCW back at center stage, CCC, or no. It's a lot of C's, a lot of yeses. So, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys, for real.
Always a pleasure to have you on and just bullshitting, chopping it up.
Yeah, bro.
Usual. Always good. Always good. Thank you, Mose. Appreciate it, man. Guys, we will be right back here on the Spotlight.